Here's what nobody's telling you about protecting your job from AI. You don't need to learn Python. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't even need to understand how the algorithms work. The people staying employed right now are doing something completely different. And it has nothing to do with out-teching the technology. I spent 6 months tracking professionals who successfully protected themselves from AI displacement. Not tech executives, regular people in finance, marketing, operations, the ones everyone said were doomed. And I found a pattern that changes everything. While 41% of companies plan workforce cuts by 2030, there's a specific set of capabilities that make you nearly impossible to replace. And most people are building the wrong ones. Microsoft just analyzed 200,000 people actually using AI at work for 9 months straight. Real usage data, not predictions. And the results flipped conventional wisdom upside down. The jobs with the lowest automation risk weren't the ones requiring the most technical skill. They were the ones requiring capabilities that AI fundamentally cannot replicate, no matter how advanced it gets. Physical presence, emotional intelligence, judgment in messy, unpredictable situations. The ability to read a room and know something's wrong even when everyone says it's fine. Here's what that looks like in practice. Sarah was a project manager at a marketing agency. Classic vulnerable position. She watched 2 colleagues with over 15 years of experience each get laid off in early 2025. AI tools could handle timelines, resource allocation, all the traditional project management work. Sarah realized she couldn't out-organize an algorithm, but she could do something it never could. She shifted from managing timelines to managing people through change. When her agency adopted AI content tools, she became the person who spotted which team members were scared, why they were resisting, and how to coach them through it. She learned to read client body language in meetings, to sense when someone was uncomfortable even though they were saying everything looked great. 6 months later, she got promoted to Director of Client Relations. The agency realized they needed someone who could navigate the human mess that AI creates, not just the efficiency it provides. That's the pattern. You're not competing with AI on its strengths. You're building expertise in what it can't touch. And there are 4 capabilities where this actually works. I'm going to walk through each one and show you how to start building them this week, using your current job. First, emotional intelligence in high-stakes moments. AI can analyze text sentiment. It can generate responses that sound empathetic, but it cannot read a room. It can't hear the slight change in someone's voice that tells you they're about to quit. It can't pick up the 15 microsignals that scream a client is unhappy even while they're smiling and nodding. This matters everywhere human relationships drive outcomes. Sales, management, customer success, consulting. Anywhere trust determines whether deals close or projects succeed. Here's how you build this practically. In your next 5 meetings, close your laptop. Just listen. Watch faces. Notice who talks, who stays silent, when energy shifts. After each meeting, write down one thing you observed that wouldn't show up in any transcript. Do this for 30 days. You'll start seeing patterns that exist only in tone, timing, body language. Patterns AI literally cannot access because they live in the physical world, not in data. Second, creative problem solving when the problem itself is unclear. AI is exceptional at well-defined problems with clear parameters. It can optimize email subject lines. It can forecast sales from historical patterns. But it completely breaks when the problem is ambiguous. When you need to figure out why employee morale is tanking even though survey scores look fine. When you need to fix a process that technically works but frustrates everyone who touches it. These are messy, interdisciplinary puzzles with no obvious right answer. I worked with a company that tried everything for retention. Salary bumps, flexible schedules, better benefits. Nothing worked. The actual solution was redesigning their office layout to create better collaboration spaces. That's systems thinking, connecting dots across disciplines that seem unrelated. It's fundamentally human. And it's more valuable now than ever because AI generates so much output that someone needs to figure out which 3 ideas out of 50 are actually worth pursuing. Third, ethical judgment and stakeholder navigation. As AI gets more powerful, companies desperately need people who can answer the questions the technology can't. Just because we can automate this customer interaction, should we? If we use AI to screen resumes, what biases are we encoding? How do we explain this AI decision to regulators, customers, employees who don't trust it? These aren't technical questions. They're human questions. They require understanding context, culture, values, competing interests. If you work in HR, operations, compliance, risk management, this is your lane. Start asking one question every time AI comes up in a meeting. What could go wrong with this? And who would be affected? That's the beginning of ethical thinking companies will actually pay for. There's a whole emerging field called AI ethics and governance. These aren't compliance checkbox roles. They're strategic positions that require technical understanding plus the ability to think through second and third order consequences. Fourth, building trust through physical presence and hands-on expertise. This surprises people, but even in knowledge work, certain moments require you to actually be there. To walk a factory floor and spot something that's off. To sit next to someone coaching them through a difficult conversation. To demonstrate a technique that only makes sense when you're watching someone's hands. AI can provide instructions. It cannot provide presence. If your job is desk-based right now, look for ways to add physical components. Lead workshops instead of sending slide decks. Visit client sites instead of defaulting to video calls. Mentor junior people in person instead of over Slack. This isn't about rejecting remote work. It's about creating differentiation. Cannot replicate no matter how good the models get. Now here's the part that actually determines whether this works for you. Developing these capabilities takes time. And you might be thinking you don't have time because you're already worried about your job. But here's what the data shows. Professionals who start building these skills while still employed have 3.1 times higher success rates in transitions than people who wait until after getting laid off. You have leverage right now. Income, stability, access to real situations where you can practice. Use it. Start small. Pick one capability. Dedicate 30 minutes a week to deliberately practicing it. Not watching videos about it. Actually doing it. If you pick emotional intelligence, that's 5 meetings this month where you practice reading the room. If you pick creative problem solving, that's 1 messy problem per week where you sketch 3 possible approaches even if you don't implement them. If you pick ethical judgment, that's asking the what could go wrong question twice in the next 30 days. If you pick physical presence, that's 1 in-person meeting or site visit in the next 2 weeks. Tiny, consistent action compounds faster than you think. In 90 days, you'll notice opportunities you didn't see before. In 6 months, you'll have stories for performance reviews and interviews that position you as someone providing value AI cannot replicate. In a year, you'll have built a reputation that makes you significantly harder to replace. And here's what makes this beautiful. You're not fighting AI. You're working alongside it in a way that makes you more valuable, not less. The people thriving right now aren't resisting AI tools. They're using AI for repetitive work so they can spend more time on human work. They let AI draft the email, then refine it based on knowing the recipient's communication style. They let AI generate the first analysis pass, then apply judgment to decide which insights actually matter. This is the real future, not humans versus AI. Humans leveraging AI while focusing on capabilities AI fundamentally cannot replicate. And if you start building those capabilities now, while you still have income and stability, you're not just protecting your current job. You're positioning yourself for roles that will exist in 2027 and 2030, when companies realize they over-automated and desperately need to rehire the human capabilities they lost. Look, I can't promise your exact job title will exist in 5 years. The economy is changing too fast. But people who focus on emotional intelligence, creative problem solving, ethical judgment, and physical presence are consistently the ones navigating transitions successfully. They're getting promoted, getting recruited, building careers that feel more secure now than 3 years ago. So here's what I want you to do. Pause this video and write down 2 things. First, which capability feels most natural based on your current strengths? Second, 1 specific action you can take this week to practice it. Not next month. Not when you have more time. This week. Because the gap between people who protect their careers and people who get displaced isn't talent. It's action. And action starts today. If this helped, let me know which capability you're focusing on in the comments. And if you want more practical strategies for navigating your career in the AI era, subscribe. I'm done with doom and gloom. From now on, we're focusing on what actually works.